Welcome back. So today's module is going to be on aspiration, stress and syllabification. We'll have a few practice questions and you will have to pause the video, work on the questions and then I will explain you the answers. So let's get started. The first set of question is related to syllabification. So this is a question. How many syllables are there in the following words? Lexicographer, magistrate, civilize, is, boys, no, linguistics, sorry, episode, neurology. Let me repeat that again for you. How many syllables are there in the following words? The first word is lexicographer, second is magistrate, third is civilize, fourth is, fifth is boys, sixth is no, seventh is linguistics, eighth is sorry, ninth is episode and 10th neurology. So before you pause the video, let me give you a small tip. How do you do syllabification? Make sure that every syllable has one vowel. Also make sure that every syllable has only one vowel. Now you may pause the video and work on these questions. Once you are done with this, we will look at the answers. Okay, let's look at the answers now. Lexicography. So you are going to split it according to vowels, looking at the number of vowels in a syllable, right? You are supposed to have only one vowel in a syllable and you are supposed to have only one vowel in a syllable. So how do you split lexicography? Lec, si, co, gra, fe. So what are the vowels in this? In lec it's a, si it's e, ka is a, gra is a, fi is e. So it's a 5-syllabled word. The second word is magistrate, magistrate. So it's 3-syllabled word. The third word is civilize, C, V, lies. So it's a 3-syllabled word. Fourth one is, it's a 1-syllabled word. The fifth one is boys and it's a 1-syllabled word. This is slightly tricky. Some of you might have divided the word into 2 syllables looking at the vowel letters. This is where the confusion stems. Okay? You need to look at vowel sound and not vowel letters. So don't get misguided by the O and I there and then split them into 2. Okay? In boys, the vowel sound O and I comes together to form O, boy, oi. You get it? It's a oi sound. So it's a single syllable. Boys is a monosyllabic word. The 6th word is no. Again, it's a 1-syllabled word. 7th one is linguistics, linguistics. So it's 3-syllabled word. The 8th word is sorry, sorry. It's 2-syllabled word. The 9th word is episode, episode. So it's a 3-syllabled word. And the 10th word is neurology, which is a 4-syllabled word, neurology. Did you get them right? Did you get all of them right? Did you make a few mistakes? Well, don't worry, you can always get back to the rules, learn them, come back, practice new words, use a dictionary, you can always improve. The next question is about consonant clusters. So give 3 examples of each of the following consonant cluster, where the word initial should have a consonant cluster of CC. then the word final position should have a consonant cluster of CC. The third is where the word initial position should have a consonant cluster of CCC. And the fourth is where the word has a final consonant cluster of CCC. Now you pause the video, work on the questions and come back. Now let's look at the answers. The words that you have come up with could be different from that of what I have chosen. I'll explain you why I chose these words. So with that you can evaluate your own answers. So the first is words with initial consonant cluster of CC. What are they? I have chosen place, tray and dwell. In place, the consonant cluster is CC. It starts with P and L sound. Therefore, the consonant cluster CC. In tray, it is T and R sound. Again, the consonant cluster CC. And dwell, it's D and V, which are again consonant sounds, and therefore the consonant cluster CC. Now, words with consonant cluster at the final position. Pump, M and P. Help, L and P. Adopt, P and T. So let me mark them for you. Place, tray, dwell, pump, help, adopt. The third question is to come up with the initial consonant cluster pattern CCC. What is that? Spring, straight and scream. So here if you see, it is S, P and R sounds coming together. In the second word it is S, T and R sounds coming together. And in the third word, S, K and R coming together. Now the words with the final consonant cluster CCC. Hands, N, D and S. Solves, L, V and S. Again this is slightly tricky. You might notice this vowel. You might notice a vowel letter E here and therefore assume that it does not have a consonant cluster CCC at its end. But that's not the case. You're supposed to look at the consonant sounds here. I'm again reiterating that this is a place where a lot of people make a mistake. So let me stress this again. Do not be misguided by vowel letters, but instead focus on the consonant sounds. You need to check the sounds and not the letters. So here you might see a E and might assume that it might not have a consonant cluster at the end. But that's not the case. In solves, it's L, V and S sound at the end of the word. Right? They are the final consonant clusters present in the word. Solves. You don't say solves, right? It's solves. So L, V and Z. The third word is adopts. P, T and S. So did you all get them right? If yes, good. If no, it's fine. You can always practice, go back to your basics, understand consonant sounds and vowel sounds, and once you keep in mind this rule that you always need to evaluate and analyze words based on consonant sounds and not letters, half of your confusion is over. The rest half, you can always go back to the rules, study, come back, practice. Now the third question is related to word stress. So this is a question. Mark the stress on the appropriate syllable. First word is object. Object as a noun. Okay. The second word is again object but as a verb. The third word is examination. Fourth word is memorial. Fifth word is dining room. Pause the video, work on the questions, after which we will discuss the solutions. Now let's discuss the answers. The first word is object as a noun. So the rule is, when a two-syllable word is used as a noun or adjective, the stress is always on the first syllable. Of course, there are exceptions, but then this rule applies to at least 80% of the words in that class. So in this case, what is the syllabification here? Object. So where does the stress come? On the first syllable. So how do you pronounce it? Object. Object. The stress is on O sound. Let's pronounce it object. Good. Of course, again there are exceptions, but then this rule applies to more than 80% of the words in that class. So in this case, again you syllabify the word object, ob and ject, and the second syllable gets stressed, that means j sound gets stressed, and therefore you pronounce it as object. Object. The stress is on j sound here. Object. Object. How is that different from the first word? Object. And the second word? Object. Object. Did you get the difference? Good. Now the third word is examination. So we have discussed that words ending with the suffix ion have stress on the penultimate syllable. What's penultimate syllable? It's the second last syllable or the last but one syllable. So you know that the last syllable is definitely the suffix ion. So what's the syllable before that? Na. It's na. So the stress is on the na sound. So how do you pronounce it? Examination. Examination. Stress on the na sound there. Repeat it after me. Examination. Good. Now the fourth word is memorial. So again, words ending with the suffix ial have stress on the syllable preceding the suffix. So what's the suffix? ial. Let me mark it for you. And what's the syllable before ial? It's mor. So where does the stress fall? The stress is on ma sound there. So it's memorial. Memorial. Get it? Repeat it after me. Memorial. Memorial. Good. The fifth word is dining room. So most compound words have primary stress on their first element. We have already discussed this in the previous module. Let me repeat the rule again for you. Most compound words have primary stress on their first element. So how do you pronounce it? Dining room. The stress is on the sound here. Dining room. Dining room. Good. Now the next set of questions, it's related to aspiration. The question is, which among the following words have aspirated sounds? The first word is stop. Second is pot. Third is caught. Fourth is oppose. Fifth is tame. Pause the video, work on the questions. We will discuss the answers soon. Let's get to the answers. So, what are the words that are aspirated? It's pot, caught, oppose and tame. Why? Let's quickly look at the rules and then I'll explain you. So, the first rule is that voiceless stops, that is the sound p, t and k, are aspirated at the beginning of a word or at the beginning of a stressed syllable. So in that case, if you look at the question, let's go back to the question. What are the words that starts with a voiceless stop at the beginning of a word or at the beginning of a stressed syllable? The first word, no, it's not a voiceless stop. The second is pot. Yes, pa is a voiceless stop. Therefore, this is an aspirated word. Why? Because the voiceless stop is at the beginning of the word. Get it? Now second, again, ka is a voiceless stop at the beginning of the word. Therefore, caught is aspirated. By the by, what is aspiration? Aspiration is that extra puff of air that you produce when you aspiration is that extra puff of air that you produce when you pronounce certain sounds. Okay? Now, the fourth word is oppose. Let's syllabify that. Op and pose. Right? And if you look at it, per sound is at the beginning of a stressed syllable because the stress is on the second syllable. Therefore, you pronounce it as oppose. So, the per sound there gets aspirated. So, this is also aspirated. Tame again is aspirated because the voiceless stop t occurs at the beginning of the word. Now, let us go to the first word, stop. Why is that not aspirated? Top is aspirated, right? Top is aspirated, but stop is not aspirated. Why? Let's again go back to the rules. Even if a syllable is stressed, a voiceless stop is unaspirated if it follows the sound sa. Let me repeat that again for you. Even if a syllable is stressed, a voiceless stop is unaspirated if it follows the sound sa. So, therefore, because so this explains why top is aspirated, because ta sound, the voiceless stop ta occurs at the beginning of the word, whereas in stop the ta sound is followed by sa sound. So, the rule says that if a syllable, even if a syllable is stressed, a voiceless stop is unaspirated if it follows the sound sa. The third rule is that voiceless stops are unaspirated at the beginning of an unstressed syllable. They are also unaspirated in any other position like the end of the word or at the end of the syllable. The fourth rule that you need to keep in mind is voiced stops are never aspirated. They are always unaspirated. So, with that, I think you have got a fair idea of how syllable rules, stress rules and aspiration rules work. So, with this we come to the end of the session. I hope you liked the session. I will meet you with a different topic on a different day. Until then, stay safe, happy learning.